A bipartisan group of U.S. senators led by Senator Jeff Merkley, along with co-sponsor Senator John Cornyn, Robert Menendez, James Risch, Ben Cardin, and Marco Rubio, has introduced a resolution to declare that China is committing genocide against Uyghurs and other mainly Muslim ethnic people in China's colonized region East Turkestan. The news was released on Senator Jeff Merkley's website on October 27. This resolution was introduced right after the statement of the Canadian Parliamentary Committee calls China's extreme abuse against the Uyghurs and the other Turkic Muslims a genocide. According to a Wall Street Journal report, the Trump administration on Thursday this week blacklisted Iranian and the Chinese energy companies accused of helping Iran evade energy sanctions and announcing forfeiture actions against 2 shipments of Iranian missiles recently seized by the U.S. Navy. According to a Wall Street Journal report, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo called on Indonesians to take a firm stand against China's treatment of its ethnic minority Muslims, seeking to rally support on the issue in the world's most populous Muslim-majority country. Secretary Mike Pompeo's speech was right after a news from last week about 4 Uyghur mass deportation to China by the Indonesian government. Indonesian government did not comment on the incident yet, but on Friday, South China Morning Post confirmed the news from Indonesian security sources. Although his speech may have no relation to these men who could be already tortured and killed by the Chinese government, his speech is closely related to the Indonesian government's diverse position on criticizing China on Uyghur and the other Turkic Muslims issue. Uyghurs are deeply disappointed by the position of Muslim countries on China's genocide against the Uyghur and the other Turkic Muslims. Director of Uyghur Human Rights Project Ömer Kanat expressed his feelings. All Muslim governments, including the Indonesian government, may be worrying to be dragged in US-China rivalry by Uyghur Muslim issues. But this is not the fact. This is not the real underlying issue. In fact, they don't want to put Islamic faith and Uyghur Muslims' lives before their trade benefit with China, he said. 500,000 Uyghur kids have been incarcerated in Chinese concentration camps for more than 3 years. There is no information about the emotional and the physical well-being of these kids. All of these kids' parents are either in adult concentration camps, detention centers, prisons, or forced labor camps. The rest of the Uyghur kids have not much different fate than the kids in concentration camps, since all Uyghur kids outside the concentration camps are subjected to stay in Chinese boarding schools. Starting this week, the Chinese government changed the previous weekly home visit schedule to bi-weekly. By doing so, Uyghur kids can see their parents only once every 15 days. President of East Turkestan Information Center Ruqya Turdush harshly criticized China's genocidal act against the Uyghur children.
In fact, all of this expressly outlawed in the Genocide Convention is Article 2E. This is a Chinese state plan. This plan itself is the intention of China is genocide, because more than 500,000 Uyghur kids are locked up in Chinese concentration camps right now, permanently removed from their home, from their culture and outside world, because their parents were arrested by the Chinese government. And these kids experiencing huge trauma right now that may cause serious mental health issues. Outside of these Chinese concentration camps, the Uyghur children who's living with their parents are forced to stay in Chinese boarding schools right now, and they're spending less and less time with their parents, get in touch with their culture and go back to their society. In this way, the China trying to kill whole nation, whole Uyghur nation.